Hello, in this video, we will understand about the sexual transmitted disease, the STD. So, just the quick overview, we will understand about the different type of disease due to the different pathogens. So this is the male and female. This is the sexual contagious agent which that transmit the disease to each other, for female and male through a reproductive system during the intercourseal time. Here is the male reproductive system contain penis and the testes is used for the ejaculation of sperms toward the female genitalia. Female reproductive system. This is a female reproductive system contain vagina, fallopian tube and cervix. Is used for the intercourse, the vagina. So this is the uterus. And the uterus used for the development of fetus because it's contain endometrium. So this is the fallopian tube and which that is contain ovary release egg toward the uterine side. So this is the male reproductive organ and this is the female reproductive organ. So just understand for yourself. So during the ejaculation, the genitalia, which that contain a thin epithelium, will receive the pathogens and move into the blood circulatory system also, as well as rupture the epithelium of the genitalia. So let's begin to understand the AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. In this way, the HIV virus involved contain a GP41 and GP120 protein on the spike protein it is called. And the spike protein is special for the T lymphocyte, especially the CD4 positive T lymphocyte, the T helper cell. Contains CD4 receptor and the CCR5 and CXCR4, which that is recognize and unlock the invasion of this HIV to the CD4. After move inside into the CD4, it will be replicate due to the reverse transcriptase enzyme and RNA containing this virus will transcribe and this is replicate more and insert the DNA of the CD4 to infect and that's the function of the CD4 will be damaged like T helper cell loss to enable the help to stimulate the adaptive immune response. So the natural naive B cell will proliferate due to the CD4 activation for to produce the plasma cell and B memory cell will be dysfunction. So in this way, the activation for adaptive immune response will be diminished. So in this way, the antibody will not produce. So the clearance of the pathogenicity, the disease of the infection will not possible. And in this way, the sign and symptom can be weight loss, flu, because flu will not cure due to the adaptive immune response inavailability, and nausea, sensitive to allergens and anaphylaxis and higher fever. Well, let's begin to understand the second more popular disease. So that in this way, here is the treatment can be the reverse transcriptase inhibitors and the antigrase inhibitor and the other inhibitor which that inhibit the infection but it will not work long term. So the genital herpes, let's begin to understand. This is due to the herpes simplex type 2 virus and most frequently transmitted by sexual contact causing infection of the genitalia. It will lead to cause the sign and symptom the soreness of the genitalia, ulceration in the infected area. So the virus can transmit it during birth, cause central nervous system and eyes infection. So the working of the herpes simplex type 2 virus, which that basically virus can transmit it during the birth, cause central nervous system and eye infection. So this is the viral infection will enter, and in this way it produce the alpha, beta, and gamma protein as well as the replication of this cell and this virus itself to increase the number of virus which that will lead to infection, and that protein basically also produce, and in this way the infection of the uh, epithelium will lead to cause ulceration. Let's begin to understand further the gonorrhea. This gonorrhea is due to the gram-positive bacteria Gonorrhea neisseria, which that is contain pili and the protein. This protein is used for the reception and invasion through CR3 and CD11B and CD18. After this entry, it means the row GTPase will activate to membrane ruffling, and in this way lead to invasion. So this is the activation before the invasion, and after invasion the macrophagocytosis will occur, and in this way the phagocytosis will be occur. But in this case, the infection will increase will lead to actin polymerization when increased due to the uh, basically is the cecum is contained here, is which that is a RAC and PI3K and the SYK, which that will lead to invasion, and in actin polymerization will lead to phagocytosis. So in this way, it will damage the epithelium of the genitalic tract. So it is caused by a gram-positive bacterium Neisseria, mainly affecting the mucous membrane or urinogenital tract. The urinogenital tract means the urinary system of the male. So it is basically male is involving for this infection most. So for female during the this infection gonorrhea, the basically high contagious through sexual contact, and in this way the newborn infant may acquire serious eye infection also, and the cranial infection, the brain infection. Let's begin to understand the last one is the syphilis. Syphilis is due to the spiral-shaped bacteria. This caused by a spirochete and Treponema pallidum and the species, and it damaged the reproductive organs, eyes, bones, joints, central nervous system, hair and skin, hair and skin. Sorry. Let's begin to understand the mechanism of infection of the syphilis, because it is bacteria, so you should need to understand the mechanism. The unopsonized and opsonized mechanism. The unopsonized, first of all, we will discuss when macrophage, the innate immune system which that activate, will lead to Treponema pallidum when Fc receptor will bind and will lead to endocytosis possibly, and in this way produce the inflammatory cytokines and chemokines. These inflammatory cytokines and chemokines will produce more a macrophage which that is release the cytokines. And inflammatory cytokine and chemokines. After this, also here is the toll-like receptor. We receive this in the opsonized mechanism. In this way, the opsonized mechanism will also produce the same chemokines and cytokines, will trigger more activation of macrophage, but also trigger the CD4, CD8, and the natural killer cell for the killing or directly, but the B cell which that produce the antibodies through a plasma cell proliferation and the B memory cell. And in this way the adaptive cell activation and the attraction will increase, and in this way the opsonization through IgG antibodies, through TP specific EDs, and it will opsonization lead to endocytosis with the opsonized bacteria, spirochete bacteria, Treponema pallidum. After this endocytosis can be clear the disease, but the unopsonized and regular intercourse of the infected person will lead to cause syphilis, which that will be cause the damage the reproductive system, organs, eyes, bones, joints,